How's it going, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about the differences between subtractive EQ and additive EQ in a live environment and kind of give you the pros and cons of both of those and why I am such an advocate for subtractive EQ in the live environment. If you saw my previous video on mixing female vocals, we're going to be using that same track and we're going to be using that EQ as a starting point for this demonstration. So, if you did not see that video, and I would encourage you to go back and watch it, I'll link it at the top here. But if you didn't see that one, then I want to offer you my free reverb cheat sheet with 4 of my favorite reverb settings and tactics of how I use those settings. So, yeah, hit the link in the description, download those, give them a try, drop a comment on any of my videos, and let me know what you think about them. So, on to the video. So, we're going to start. I've double patched the vocal on channel 15 and 16 here so we can do a quick A-B. So on 15 is our vocal that we use subtractive EQ on, and 16 is just a high pass with a flat EQ. And what we're going to do is see how we can boost this vocal and make it sound similar or comparable to the one that we've done all the cutting on. And we'll just see what it sounds like. The 15 here, where we've done our subtractive EQ, will be a little bit quieter because we've lost some gain there, but I'm going to try to level match it in real time. So we'll see what it sounds like. Let's just give this one a quick listen, and we'll switch over to our flat EQ. Alright, so you can hear there's a pretty big difference there whenever we just do a quick A-B between the two. So I'm going to restart it, and I'm just going to, toggle back and forth and quickly see if I can dial in a similar sound by boosting on this channel here. So let's see what that sounds like. Back to vocal 1. Vocal 2. Okay, so that was just a very quick rundown how I just trying to honestly get a tone match between the two just by boosting. And I'll be honest, there are things about both that I like and dislike. Now, I'm listening on headphones, so on a big PA, it may just be way worse. And I would say from my experience, I don't think that boosting in this way on this vocal would work. In my headphones here, it adds in the clarity a little bit, but if you noticed, I kept trying to bring the EQ down some because what was happening is we're disproportionately turning up those S's. There's a whistle in the S, and if we started boosting too high, you could see I started on a shelf and then moved over to a bell shape because that S was just really jumping out and would be really harsh. And like I said, this is probably user error. I'll benefit of the doubt there. I've never had much luck with the de-essers on this board. You might. Heck, I'd encourage you to try it. But for me, I've never had a whole lot of luck with them. So I'm really going off the idea that the way that I have mixed on this board for 10 years now, this wouldn't work. But what I will say is this vocal does carry a lot of weight. It's funny how by brightening up the top end and not cutting the low mids, it does sort of balance itself out a little bit where, the low mids add a little bit of power to it. We were starting to get some clarity. But to me, what has happened is it is harder for that vocal to sit in the mix because we've turned up some problem areas rather than getting rid of problem areas and letting the other kind of shine through. We've turned up some good areas, like, the upper mids needed some love on this vocal, so that it could have a little bit of brightness in the mix, but we've also started highlighting the sibilants in it, and it is still slightly muddy in the low mids. So let's just do another quick A-B and see what we think. Boosted, now subtracted. Back to boosted. So, yeah, my opinion, just my ears, all of this is subjective to you and what you like and what you think sounds good. I still oh my goodness, what is that word? Prefer the subtractive EQ on this vocal for this scenario. It sits better in the mix to me. Is it a little bit thinner sounding than the other? Yes, but whenever you put that on a big PA, it's going to still have some impact to it, in my opinion. So that's just a quick A-B of why I EQ the way that I do and why I prefer to use subtractive EQ over additive. I know this can be a controversial topic among people, so drop your comments and let me know what you think. Tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong. Let's talk about it. And I love to hear what you guys have to think. So I'll see you in the next one.